papers are all over the floor. That's an effect. Most of you would not say, I don't think there's a cause here, but there must have been a slight breeze that came through my house, but no one else's. Or would you say, I think we got robbed? Especially when you find that your valuables are gone, and your computer's gone, and all you see where your nice plasma TV was is those little hooks. Now, it's one of the most basic laws of science, cause and effect. Second law of thermodynamics says that everything is winding down. Where I live, it's a unique, probably California, but if I don't cut my grass, it doesn't grow beautifully, nicer, better, evolving into this immaculate lawn. I just get weeds, and it just looks bad. When I don't take care of my body, it's amazing. I just gain weight, and I feel lousy. When I don't take time to invest in relationships, they don't get better. It's weird. They get worse. See, the second law of thermodynamics, and what we know from the Big Bang, is when you look at all the universe out there, it's dying, winding down. Evolution's presupposition says it's going from chaos to order, when in fact everything we observe. And so there's part of this that says it just doesn't answer some of the basic issues. Final question here is, which theory claim has the best archaeological track record for their position? We have our common ancestor. If you read in the macro evolutionary research, you know that Darwinian evolution doesn't teach that there were, chimpanzees and monkeys and then man, but teaches that we had a common ancestor, and there was a line, and this common ancestor, this missing link, and then they stayed sort of monkey, ape, and then humans were formed. Here's the track record of the archaeological discoveries for Darwinian macroevolution. You have Java Man. The latest research showed that Java Man, he had a leg bone that was almost unquestionably human. The skull, which was found 50 feet away, was shown to be most likely that of a Gibeon-like ape. And the discoverer himself, Du Bois himself, eventually concluded that the skull was most likely an ape, and admitted that he had not found anything more than purely human bones at the same site. And yet in your textbook it has Java Man. Then there's the Nebraska Man, 1922. A tooth was found in Nebraska, claimed to be part of another missing link. It turned out, after further research, again, it's on the front page, it's in Time, or in the old days, Look magazine, makes it to a textbook, and then now we find it's the tooth of an extinct pig. The Neanderthal man, discovered near the Neander Valley in Germany, was considered a missing link. It was promoted in thousands of textbooks, museums all across the way. It was discovered later that it actually walked in a stooped position due to suffering from debilitating diseases, and the disfigured bones were such that they had rickets and arthritis, which was due to a vitamin deficiency. Neanderthal has since been reclassified as a Homo sapien. Then probably Lucy, technically Australopithecus, was to be in 1974 a 3-foot-tall missing link. This is the answer. This is the missing link. It wasn't publicly told a lot, but the knee, according to Johansen himself, who was the discoverer, when questioned during a lecture at the University of Minnesota on November 20th, 1986, Lucy's knee was found 60 to 70 meters lower, 200 feet lower in the strata, and 2 to 3 kilometers away from the other parts. When asked why he thought it belonged to Lucy, his answer was anatomical similarity. So, I mean, you got a jaw over here, 2 to 3 kilometers over here, 200 feet down. You take this, put them together, and you say this is the missing link. Now this is revealing. Even Richard Leakey, I mean, this is Mr. Anthropologist himself, says, well-known evolutionist and director of the National Museum in Kenya, concluded it is impossible to draw any firm conclusion about what species Lucy belongs to. Now, all I know is that if I have a lens that's anti-God, or if I have a lens where I've met a bunch of people who say they're followers of Christ that put me down and are negative and narrow and anything in science, and they are just rejecting, that I have a lens that I don't read page 3 and page 4 and page 5 of that history. So what we want to be is, we want to be, I believe, the kind of Christ followers who say, you know what, we may not understand all that's happening in science, and what happens after years is sometimes the problem is I've never seen where science and the Bible contradict, but I have certainly seen where our biblical interpretations of some things or scientific interpretations of things radically conflict. But I think when you look at the evidence, it's fairly strong. Final questions, and here's where I want to leave you. I want to leave you with questions. I want to leave you with questions for you, and I want to leave you with questions for those people that you care about. Is Darwinian evolution really the airtight scientific fact that we were led to believe it was and we're taught in school? Think about that. Your young people don't need to dismiss themselves as I've got to be anti-God if I'm going to be a scientist. Should the recent scientific discoveries among top non-Christian scientists cause us to re-examine your view of Darwinian evolution's validity? Third, could Darwinian evolution be the intellectual justification for racism, Nazism, sexism, and moral relativism? Could you defend Darwinian philosophy applied to those areas? And finally, what do you believe personally? What do you believe?